In our previous video, we dove into the anxiety about anxiety spiral and talked about how nervous sensitization can bring about a myriad of mental and physical sensations. Remember how crucial it is to normalize these experiences, to shed unhelpful interpretations and behaviors? Right. So let's kick things off with the physical sensations before we take a joyride into the mental ones. Quick question for you. Are you team physical or team mental sensations? Me personally, I used to be team mental sensations because I could handle a racing heart or wobbly knees, but these nasty thoughts, they were the real troublemakers, at least for me. In our groups, we have passionate debaters for each side, each with their own compelling story. The truth be told, it's really not about which sensation wins the prize for the worst because, let's face it, they're all freaking unpleasant. The ones we fear the most are usually the ones that pack the hardest punch and hit us where it hurts us the most. So let's talk about the bizarre and sometimes downright hilarious ways that anxiety loves to mess with our body. Here's a rundown of the top hits from team physical sensations. Number 1 is tension headaches. Have you ever felt like your head is in a vice grip? If so, then you can thank your anxious muscles for that. You see, when anxiety kicks in, our neck and shoulders tighten up, causing pain and tension headaches. If you're anxious right now watching this, check in with your shoulders. How are they feeling? Up here or back and relaxed? But of course, that's not all. Let's move to another sensation that can really make your world spin, and that is dizziness. Yep, anxiety can make us feel like we're spinning out of control, not just mentally, but quite literally. And it's all because you might be breathing a bit too much, hyperventilating we call it. Oxygen overload leads to that delightful sensation of lightheadedness. And if you ask, wait, oxygen overload? I thought oxygen is a good thing. It is, but only if it's in balance with its friend, carbon dioxide. When we breathe too fast, we exhale too much CO2, and despite its bad reputation as merely a waste product, it is actually CO2 that is responsible for the calming effects of breathing exercises. Okay, let's shift gears to another visual effect of anxiety, and that is blurry vision. Think of it as your body's way of going into HD during a crisis. So your pupils dilate to spot threats better, but sometimes this blurs your vision and makes you see spots. You can thank your survival instincts for that. Let's continue to another sensation that can add to the noise of your anxiety, and that is tinnitus. Yep, anxiety can crank up the volume on tinnitus, and the more you stress about it, usually the louder it gets, and it's a classical case of stress feeding stress. Next up is choking sensations. Ever felt like there's a golf ball stuck in your throat? If so, well, that's another weird anxiety thing squeezing your vocal cords. The term for this is globus hystericus, super unpleasant and usually due to higher muscle tension in your neck and throat area. Another classical anxiety sensation is difficulty getting enough air in. This sensation can make you feel like you're breathing through a straw, super uncomfortable. And again, your friend CO2 is not in balance with oxygen. You see, anxiety makes our breathing shallow and fast, preparing us to sprint or fight. And there is no time for deep breaths when there is danger around, right? So normal, but yes, very unpleasant. And of course, anxiety gets around, so let's move on to the heart and all kinds of heart sensations. These can range from palpitations, skipped heartbeats, chest tightness. It's your heart's way of saying, hey, I'm ready to run. Anxiety really revs up our heart rate, making sure that our muscles get enough blood to escape danger. Too bad when the danger is just in your head and there is no running away from something. And of course, let's not forget our stomach and all the digestive drama. Anxiety can turn our stomachs into a knot, literally. So blood rushes away from digestion, leaving us with butterflies, nausea, or that sudden urge to find the nearest restroom. Next one is weak legs and arms. If you've ever felt like that your legs and your arms are turning into jelly, know that that's adrenaline turning up the volume on muscle tension, making you feel weak-kneed and shaky. But it's actually not weakness at all. To the contrary, it's your body's way of preparing for action. Okay, let's shift gears from weakness to a more active symptom, and that is sweating. Anxiety cranks up the heat, literally, and sweating is our body's way of cooling down during the high-stakes game of survival. Again, really well meant and helpful, just not when you're sitting in an overfilled train battling with what-if thoughts. And as you deal with the heat, you might also experience some involuntary shaking. That's your muscles charging up and getting ready to go, whether fighting or fleeing. And I know it's kind of embarrassing, but tremors and shaking should be really embraced because they're nature's way of shaking of stress. Okay, moving on from shakes to tingles, let's explore pins and needles. Have you ever felt tingling or numbness in your hands and feet? If so, that's paresthesia, a quirky side effect of anxiety-induced blood flow changes. Usually comes up during panic attacks and hyperventilation. Super uncomfortable but not dangerous, and usually quickly settles as your breathing returns to normal. And finally, if you've ever felt a sudden shift in temperature and wondered if you're in a sauna or in the midst of an ice bucket challenge, that's your stress hormones dialing up your body's thermostat, making you feel flushed and sweaty or shivering, even when it's warm. You can blame it on the fight or flight mode, the body's ultimate mood swing. Okay guys, there you have it, a whirlwind tour through the physical sensations of anxiety. From tension headaches to hot flushes, these sensations can make you feel like your body is constantly on high alert. And while it's tempting to worry that there's something seriously wrong, remember that these sensations are often just your body's exaggerated response to stress. It's important to normalize these experiences and understand that while they might feel intense, they're usually not dangerous. Our body is just doing the best it can to protect you, although its methods are sometimes a bit over the top. But we're not done yet, of course. In our next video, we'll dive into the mental sensations of anxiety, those tricky thoughts and feelings that can make you feel like you're losing your grip on reality. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss it. And if you need help navigating your physical sensations, then check out our Dear app. It's filled with content to help you understand and normalize all these physical sensations that scare you. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.